Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Omniverse of Nick, and Part 4 to the Vegeta becoming the first Super Saiyan What If. I'm your host, Nick, and like always, before we get into today's episode, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick channel, and comment your favorite part or parts of ongoing or past stories, as well as future recommendations for what-ifs and general discussion, which you can look at every project that I have in the works on the Google Doc, which is in the description of this video and every video and post from this point on to see every project in the works, with many of yours included. Except if you're new. You haven't got the chance yet. Let's get into the ending of the Android arc. Spoiler. Vegeta, he has a plan that will not only give him his superiority back over his enemies, and not just to show his already overwhelming superiority over the Z fighters, but show both the androids and this new bug Cell, who's boss. And eventually, Vegeta on his own gets his plan right and tracks Cell down after Ginger Town's Piccolo encounter and all that. Cell is very surprised, and honestly, he wasn't expecting this and is prepared to fight Vegeta. But Vegeta just smiles at the bug creature and tells him that he knows who he is, but he has no interest in taking him down. Not yet, but he tells Cell to follow him, because he might have something that Cell wants. And he flies away. Meanwhile, at Kame House, Goku, Yamcha, and Gohan are there, because I honestly didn't know where else to put those three, in terms of since Goku was still around, much of it has gone canon, and, just in general. But 17 and 18 eventually find Goku there with 16 with them, and they want a rematch, and 16's looking to permanently terminate him this time. Vegeta arrives at Kame House, with the androids very puzzled if he wants a rematch. But Vegeta says he didn't come here alone, and now these androids are going to know true fear. Vegeta jumps directly in the air, out of the line of sight, giving Cell, who is right behind him, since he followed him, the perfect advantage for a solar flare to everyone in the area, absorbing both the androids at once and transforming into his perfect form. Goku is actually pretty furious at this, because not only has Vegeta's ego literally most likely cost them, but he's doing all this just to get back at the androids, and now that they have an even bigger threat to contain, if they even can. 16 is angry at Vegeta too, because he not only was just about to fight Goku and now its whole thing is interrupted, but Vegeta just sacrificed both of his android friends to this bug. But Vegeta, he's not deterred. His fight is about to come, in the form of Perfect Cell, who smiles at his perfection, that it was so easy to get this power, and it was all thanks to Vegeta. Soon, Krillin and Trunks, who came back from the underground lab killing Present Cell, and Tien and Piccolo, who were looking for this Cell, all arrive on the scene, horrified to see Perfect Cell, who smiles at everyone on the island, because now he has a whole field of entertainment. And before he can fight anybody, Vegeta powers up into Mastered Super Saiyan almost instantly, and yells to Cell that nobody else is his opponent. He got Cell his perfect form. Now, both Cell and the androids are going to face his unbridled fury. But even though Vegeta gives Cell a slightly bigger challenge than canon, it's not enough. All Cell needs to do is just release a little bit more power, and Vegeta's toast. He's on the ground in defeat. Trunks tries to get in there and help his father, barely with grade 2 on his back, but It's just not enough. But in a fit of pure rage, he does unlock a small glimpse of grade 3. But again, that's even worse, because it just doesn't do anything. Krillin gets then one-shotted by Cell, like he did, and Piccolo shows off his full power from fusing with Kami for the first time in this story. And even though it surprises Cell about how high Piccolo's power has become since, he didn't fight 17 to unleash said power, it doesn't do almost anything. Oh, sure, he has plenty of good moves, but he barely gets a chance to use them before Cell pretty much just one-taps him, and nothing Piccolo does can actually hurt Cell. Tien then tries his Neo Tri-Beam trick that he did against semi-perfect Cell to perfect Cell. But since perfect Cell is far more durable, stronger, and faster, he doesn't allow Tien the chance to pull off even more than 2 of them successfully before he just flies towards Tien's direction and curb stomps him to the ground. Yamcha, being at Kamehameha, tries Spirit Balls and Wolf Fang Fists, but that is just met with even more dull reception and just flicks away pretty much. Gohan transforms into Super Saiyan to fight, but he is not much of anything either. They're all being treated like ragdolls after Vegeta and Trunks tried their hardest, until Goku steps up to the plate, where you would think that we would get an epic fight scene, but no. Since this Goku has not gotten into the hyperbolic time chamber yet, he's only gotten a small Zenkai from fighting 16, and he's still barely stronger than him. So he has about the same amount of luck as Piccolo, which isn't to say bad, but it's not good. Until 16 is the only one left standing. Cell advises him not to attack because, as he can see, he's absorbed his 2 little friends and everyone else is on the ground. But 16's not deterred, and he pulls out his signature Hell Flash attack, which does nothing. But this attack was a distraction. 16, during the explosion of his Hell's Flash, grabs onto Cell and blows himself up in an even huger explosion. And it's seemingly over. Everyone is given sensu beans, and Vegeta has to process that he lost again. This wasn't his win, and not even his full power against this bug was enough. He tried to prove himself. Goku, even though, they're all still weaker than Vegeta, and even though this was a big deal, he's glad that maybe Vegeta's finally seen sense, and maybe they can find a way to catch up to Vegeta and get him to see that even further. But in the smoke and rubble of the Hell's Flash and explosion from 16, a figure shoots a death beam straight into Trunks' heart, which emotionally tears apart Vegeta even more so than in canon, and makes him cry for the first time, because this was his fault. He now sees that for what it is. For the first time, this has truly opened up an emotion in Vegeta. Fury and sadness put together. And he explodes with an amazing Fury-built sadness aura and explodes every part of the area around them to unveil the smoke and show Cell is alive with a new aura. A slightly weaker Super Perfect Cell, I would have to say, but around the same, really. Vegeta's amazingly explosive, anger-inducing sadness transformation turns up into Super Saiyan 2, and he rushes towards Cell with every single last fiber of his being, but he just isn't enough once again. this would only barely be around Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan's power, if not slightly higher than Cell's perfect form's full power. So it's nowhere close to Super Perfect Cell, which would be if he actually got it in canon around this point at the Cell games. Not around this point, obviously. But Cell, seeing Super Saiyan 2 and all this power coming from everybody, this is where he would make the Cell games official, but under different circumstances, and it's Super Perfect Cell. After that, King Kai and Mori, Goku goes to them to get a new Guardian of Earth, and wish back Trunks and all the damage, get Dende, and Shenron's restored, and all that, and Trunks and everyone that they could bring back are brought back to life with the Dragon Balls. After that, Mr. Popo informs everybody for the first time of the hyperbolic time chamber. I mean, Goku already knew about it, but you guys get my point. Everybody gets to see the hyperbolic time chamber. Trunks and Vegeta enter it first, with Vegeta fully mastering and grasping the hold on the Super Saiyan 2 transformation, now definitely making him the strongest of the group, even though he already kind of was, besides Cell and the androids. Trunks eclipses Grade 3 and mastered Super Saiyan fully, and gets small little grasp on Super Saiyan 2, but I'm not gonna say that he gets it fully, like Vegeta. He gets a small enough little glimpse of it, pretty much. But hey, for Super Saiyans and Dragon Ball, that's enough. Goku and Gohan get their original training, and all of this, including Vegeta and everything that's happened, has forced Master Roshi to come out of his little shack of Kame House and actually fight again early. Bet that wasn't expected for you guys, was it? Yamcha and Tien fight each other in the chamber, and Roshi enters with Krillin. And Piccolo, he just trains with himself. Not everyone goes in for an extended period of time, but they do see vast gains, especially the Saiyans and Piccolo. Meanwhile, Cell/Super Perfect Cell creates the ring for the Cell games, and soon enough, within 10 days, maybe shorter depending on how this variation of the Cell games would go, everyone arrives. But there are a few differences, obviously. This is under different circumstances, for one thing. Android 16 is not there because he was actually able to blow himself up early. Cell is actually Super Perfect Cell early, although I feel he could just devolve the transformation and go into Super Perfect Cell. I feel that's always been obvious in the Dragon Ball lore. And Roshi is there. Hercule gets sideswiped into the mountain because he would still do that. First time I actually introduced him in a way like this in my stories. And Vegeta, instead of Goku, says that he will be the first and last that Cell fights. And he's going to prove to everyone here already that he's the best, but he's going to prove it to both Cell here and the androids he decided to absorb. And he will kill all three of them at the same time. Cell powers into his super perfect form immediately, seeing Vegeta power up into his Super Saiyan 2, a better version of it, he sees, and says that he couldn't agree more, and he dares Vegeta to try. They get into a fight, and this would be an epic fight. It would be even more so epic than the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Cell fight, because Gohan whomped him. And Cell destroys the arena and goes into his full power. Because, yeah, Vegeta pushes him to his full power. Even past his super perfect form's full power, really. So, eventually, Vegeta is starting to get pushed back. And he pulls out his trump card. His ultimate move. His first final flash. Technically, since he kind of used it in earlier bases, but hey, this is the first real depiction of it, but I'm getting sidetracked. Cell pulls out his solar Kamehameha, and yeah, this is dead serious to destroy everything around them. Cell mainly the planet, the two beams collide. And this would be almost as big as the Kamehameha beam struggle at the end of the Cell games. Cell begins to put more and more, even almost his full power, into the Kamehameha. Vegeta's been able to hold it back since he has two hands, but power-wise and just everything-wise, he's starting to fall back. Trunks, in an all-out effort to protect his dad and the Earth, he returns the favor of Vegeta avenging him, and goes Super Saiyan 2 into a full-power Masenko, and together, the father-son final Masenko wipes out Cell. I think that's actually pretty freaking catchy. Final Masenko? They ought to make something like that. Anyway, after that, there would be nothing really to talk about besides more victims getting wished back, Hercule saying that, oh, he defeated Cell and all that, Trunks returning to his time, beating 17 and 18, and that variation of Cell, but already having Super Saiyan 2, meaning that when we see Trunks again, he'll be even frickin' better. And as for Vegeta, how will this new Super Saiyan 2 power-up going into the 7-year time skip prove for his ego? Will he get Super Saiyan 3? Will he become an even bigger, egotistical, mindless sucker for the Z Fighters to try and reason with and overcome? And what about Majin Buu? But that's up to you guys. What will happen next? How'd you like this episode? And what's your favorite part so far? With all that out of the way, be sure as always to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick channel, and comment your favorite part or parts of ongoing or past stories, as well as future recommendations for what ifs and general discussion that you can check out in the Google Doc of the description of this video and every post and video. With all that out of the way, we'll be getting into the Buu arc next time, so stay tuned.